Well, look at you. Still breathing. Still dangerous. Relax. I'm not here to judge you. I'm here to talk with you, like someone who actually sees what you survived and who you've become because of it. Let me ask you something. How many times did they push you just a little more because they were convinced you'd always bend? How many times did they mistake your patience for permission, your kindness for weakness, your silence for surrender? Yeah, I know. And so do you. They kept pushing because to them, you were predictable, safe, manageable. You were the one who stayed calm while they tested limits. The one who explained yourself when you didn't owe explanations. The one who reacted because you cared. And that's the part they never respected. Here's the uncomfortable truth most people don't want to admit. Some people don't want peace. They want reactions. Your emotions were their fuel. Your responses gave them relevance. Your attention told them, I still matter. So let me ask you, what happened the moment you stopped reacting? Exactly. The moment your expression went neutral. The moment your voice lost its urgency. The moment you didn't argue, didn't defend, didn't chase. That's when they felt something unfamiliar. Fear. Because people like that don't know how to exist without control. And control was never about power over you. It was power over your reactions. See, they thought pushing you further would break you. They assumed pressure equals collapse. But what it actually did was sharpen you. What they called breaking you was really just you burning off the last layer of tolerance. And once that layer was gone, you didn't explode, you didn't retaliate, you didn't deliver a dramatic speech. You detached. And that, that shook their entire world. Let's pause here for a second, because this is important. Detachment is not weakness, it's clarity. It's the moment you realize, I see the pattern now. The push, the bait, the emotional labor you were doing just to keep the peace. So ask yourself, how long were you the one stimulating chaos that wasn't yours to fix? Exactly. Your detachment didn't come from bitterness. It came from awareness. You saw how little they deserved your energy. And instead of slamming the door, you closed it calmly, with a composure they couldn't understand. That calmness terrified them, because they weren't panicking about losing you. They were panicking about losing access to you. They didn't miss your presence. They missed the version of you that explained, apologized, softened, and tried. The version they took for granted. And when your silence removed all emotional cushioning, they were left alone with themselves. No excuses, no validation, no one to absorb the guilt for them. And let me tell you something most people never say out loud. Nothing is more unsettling than a person who chooses peace after being provoked. They expected destruction, chaos, a breakdown they could twist into blame. Instead, you chose something far more threatening. Structured, intentional peace. They thought your silence meant defeat. But silence wasn't defeat. It was elevation. It was you stepping above a game designed only to entertain them. So here's a question worth sitting with. When did you realize that explaining yourself was just another way of staying trapped? Right. The more they tested your boundaries, the more they revealed who they really were. And the clearer they became, the less you felt like talking. Your detachment wasn't sudden. It was accumulated. Every push, every dismissal, every subtle manipulation, until one day, without warning, your emotional door simply closed. And when it closed, it didn't creak. It didn't reopen. It locked. They panicked because they couldn't change you anymore. Their moods stopped influencing yours. Their approval stopped defining your worth. Their emotional swings lost their grip. And that freedom, they couldn't stand it. They used to believe your reactions proved loyalty, that your suffering meant you cared. But loyalty isn't proven through endurance of disrespect. It's proven through presence. And once your presence left, so did everything meaningful you once offered. Here's something you may not have realized yet. The most dangerous person is the one who no longer reacts, because that person has already accepted the truth, accepted the loss, accepted the ending. And once acceptance arrives, fear shows up for the one who caused the damage. They miscalculated. They thought pushing you would keep you small, attached, exhausted. They didn't expect you to evolve quietly. They didn't expect your growth to highlight their stagnation. Funny how the roles switch, right? Funny how strength looks like silence to some, and silence feels like abandonment to those who never valued your voice. Your stillness unsettled them because you became unreachable. They couldn't guilt you, couldn't provoke you, couldn't bait you back into the loop. Your peace became a mirror, and they hated what they saw. Let me ask you something personal. How did it feel the first time you didn't respond and realized nothing bad happened? Yeah, that moment changes people. They used pressure to control you, assuming you'd bend like always. But instead of bending, you broke the pattern. And manipulators have no strategy for people who stop playing. They expected you to chase, to fix, to explain. They expected the old you. But that version died the moment you realized the pushing wasn't accidental. It was entertainment. You stopping your reactions forced them to confront a brutal truth. You were the stable thing holding everything together. And when that stability left, everything else started falling apart. That's when their panic became visible, messy, desperate. They started watching you not out of care, but fear. Because every time you didn't flinch, didn't look back, didn't engage, their control weakened. Your silence made them irrelevant. Your detachment made them powerless. Your peace made them exposed. And here's the part that haunted them most. You didn't lose anything by walking away. You didn't crumble. You didn't chase. You didn't break. You simply stopped reacting. And everything they relied on collapsed. But the real twist, your silence wasn't cold. It was calculated. It wasn't the silence of someone wounded. It was the silence of someone healing. And that terrified them more than any explosion ever could. Because silence with direction is a sign of someone who has taken control of their life. They assumed your emotional responses meant attachment, but your lack of response revealed the truth. You had already let go, quietly, long before they noticed anything was wrong. Their messages bounced off you. Their provocations dulled. Their sudden concern rang hollow. You weren't avoiding them. You were done. And people who depend on manipulation have no defense against someone who has outgrown their influence. As you moved differently, spoke differently, prioritized differently, they realized they no longer knew you. You became unpredictable, and people like them fear what they can't read. They tried to recreate the old dynamic, but the old you was gone, and your new self didn't entertain recycled manipulation. You had boundaries now, not loud ones, solid ones, walls made of indifference. And every time they tried to cross them, they hit resistance without emotion. Your silence forced them to sit with their reflection. Without your efforts softening their flaws, the truth stood exposed, and once seen, it couldn't be unseen. That's when discomfort turned into regret, and regret turned into fear. They couldn't understand how you stopped caring so fast, but it wasn't fast, it was earned. Every push built it, every disrespect sealed it. And when days turned into calm weeks and weeks into peaceful months, they realized this wasn't a phase. This was final. Watching you flourish without them turned fear into obsession. How could someone they thought was dependent glow with independence? They underestimated your resilience, and now they live with the cost of that mistake. Your silence wasn't emptiness, it was evolution. You became self-fed, self-guided, self-rooted. And nothing scares controlling people more than someone who doesn't need them anymore. Looking back, they realized something painful. If they hadn't pushed so hard, they might still have had access. But instead of just losing you, they taught you how to lose them without guilt. And that's the kind of lesson you never forget. So let me leave you with this. If your silence made them panic, it's because your presence once kept them alive. And choosing peace, that wasn't retreat. That was dominance. Now tell me, was it worth it? Yeah, I thought so.